in your if you don't have a common wire, they don't work, and you got to get an electrician in to do the work. You can't do it yourself.
No, that's true. And some of the ones, really what you need to do is have a heating, cooling guy come in. He'll take care of it.
Yeah.
Because it's low voltage, and it's really, I've got one that I want to replace, something that we have, and I looked inside and it was like 8 wires, and you have to put a flag, you have to identify which one they came off. So yellow might be attached to something else, and you have to just identify each thing. It's a pain.
Yeah.
You're correct. Thanks.
Okay. I guess we're set to get started. So why don't we get started, because we got a lot to cover in this meeting. And we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Let's take our moment of silent reflection for we all stay safe and get the vaccine for COVID, and we'll hopefully put this all behind us and get back to life as we knew it a year ago. I thank you. I'd like to welcome any guests and visitors today. Today we're having our virtual open house meeting. We're can imagine to our guests that we normally meet at the First Presbyterian Church, live sessions, and then we have a half hour of socializing, coffee, and then we have our speaker. However, we're not able to use the facilities with the pandemic and with the regulations, state regulations, with the distancing. There's not too many places that can hold close to 100 people safely. But we're going to get back to that. And later on during our presentation, we're going to run through a number of activities that the club, the organization does throughout the year. And there should be enough to interest everyone. So all you guests and visitors to today's meeting, you can see the things that we do. And some of our newer members that just joined may not even be aware of all the activities that we have. So for a little later in our presentation, we'll go through and show you some of the great activities that we do have. Again, I'd like to welcome everyone here today. Our guest speaker today is Stamford's own Bobby Valentine. We've had him in the past, and he is certainly an interesting and entertaining speaker. So it should be a great, great presentation. Stu.
Good morning, guys. Good to see everyone here. Welcome to our guests. As Joe mentioned, every week we have a speaker from 10:45 to 11:45. And the speaking lineup for the next month or so would be Laurie Price. Laurie Price has been with us, I think, 30 some odd years, making presentations about finance and investing. And next week, she'll talk to us about the general subject of money matters. she didn't want to use a title that would imply she's going to be giving any kind of financial advice, or investing advice. So, but she's always extremely interesting and insightful. Week after that is Dr. Rachel Albright. Dr. Albright will be talking, as a podiatrist. She practices, amongst other places, Stamford Hospital. And we're using the title, Oh My Aching Feet. She'll be talking about a number of different foot ailments and what to do about them. Week after that, on March 11th, is Chief of Police, the new Chief of Police of Stamford, Tim Shaw. And he'll be talking about the general topic of what's going on in the police department. Probably spend some time talking about the new headquarters and how that's working out. And then the week after that, March 18th, the Technion in Israel has been doing a lot of research into cancer, different areas of cancer. So a scientist, I don't have the exact name of that scientist yet, will be talking to us about what's going on there and what we can do to improve life in general. So that's it for the next 4 weeks. Joe?
Thank you. Ira, minutes from the previous meeting.
Good morning, everyone. I trust that everybody has received the minutes from last week's meeting online. We had an online attendance of 51. If there are no corrections or additions to the minutes, as usual, I'm going to ask Joe to cast one vote of approval for everyone.
Okay, it'd be my pleasure to accept the minutes as presented. Thank you again, Ira, for your time that you put into great minutes. Okay, Larry.
Okay, for all of our guests here, generally we start our meetings with discussion groups led by one of our members. And the following are the subject matters on the various dates. Next week, February 25th, Joe D. Will be speaking on current events, leading a discussion. On March 4th, Art Feldman, the effect of technology on cultural norms. On March 11th, Joe D. comes back to talk about investing. And for those of you who listened in this morning, Bob Butke speaks about technology once a month, and he will be doing so on March 18th. Next slide, please. One of the activities we started to do in view of the fact that we are very limited in what we can do in large groups is to have a walk on Wednesday mornings at 10 o'clock. Yesterday, the walk was at Cove Island Park. Pictured here are those who participated: Franco, Brian, Joan and Jerry Krantz, myself, my wife, and Dave Kaplan. And as usual, Carl Funch took the picture. It's a great way to get some fresh air, scenery, conversation, and exercise. So, and build some camaraderie and actually to have some human interaction. So I encourage more and more people as the weather hopefully gets better. Although yesterday was beautiful sunshine, no wind, just a little bit cool, and we all dressed accordingly. So that's it for Wednesday walks. Next slide, please. Our fall picnic is scheduled for September 23rd. Stu, you want to talk about it?
Sure. As Larry said, it's the 23rd of September. The application for the permit is into the city. They tell me in about 2 or 3 weeks I'll get a response. I'm sure there won't be a problem with that. I have confirmed that the Mayor Martin, will make his normal presence. He may come with a car, he may come with a bicycle, I'm not sure. But he always comes for lunch, and I'll make a presentation about the state of Stamford at that time. Also, I have the caterer, he's also confirmed as well. I don't have any pricing yet on what we'll be charging. In the past, I think we've charged $18. I'm sorry, he's charges $18 for his services. We've not yet agreed on the price, but I'm sure it'll be something in that vicinity. So it's usually a great time. A lot of guys show up. We usually get 120 guys to show up with their significant others, and it's a great day. It's a good time to get out and get some fresh air. It's the fall, and we hope everybody will attend. Thank you. Barry?
Okay, before we go on to the next slide, I just wanted to mention is people will see that we have golf tournaments sometimes twice a year, once in the spring and once in the fall. We were able to go ahead with one last fall, but before we get scheduling that again this year, we look forward just to get together and have some informal golf amongst the members. Once the snow, which is now falling outside my window, and melts at Sterling Farms and the ground softens a little bit. So we'll be thinking about that as we go forward in the next couple of weeks, and we will plan accordingly. So that's one of the activities that we can space out and do as a group, and we can do it informally, probably late March or early April. So that's it for now, and I turn it over to Carl.
Carl, you're muted.
Good morning. I'd like to welcome all guests and visitors, add my welcome to that of Joe, our president. And I'd like to tell more about the organization. We have a total membership of 207 men. And during better times, our in-person meetings, we have usually over 100 people attending each of our meetings. And I think the presentation we're going to have today before our main speaker and of course, Bobby Valentine's remarks themselves. So we'll encourage people to take a hard look at SMAS and consider membership. If I encourage any guests or visitors who are interested to please send me an email at the address shown here on the screen, and I can give you more information, including a membership application for our organization. Thank you.
Carl?
Okay, don't worry about writing things down. The video of the meeting is being recorded, and if you go to the SMAS website, you can see the video and you can pick up any of the phone numbers or email addresses that you may have missed.
Carl,
Yes.
I'd like to introduce my guest for the day, Maury Siegel. I think others should introduce any guest that they have here so that people can say hello to them. Maury, say hi. Unmute yourself at the corner and say hello.
Morning, gentlemen.
Good morning, Maury.
Nice to
Welcome.
have you with us. Thank you so much. You didn't have to shave. Anybody else want to introduce the guest?
I have Ray Engelman back. He's a previous member. I see he signed on this morning. So welcome back, Ray. Hopefully see you again. Unmute yourself if you want to say hello.
Hey, Bob.
Hey, Ray,
Hi,
how you
guys.
doing?
Nice to have you back. David Kaplan.
Yeah, Dave Kaplan here. I'd like to introduce my guests. We have Jeffrey Lowen. Jeffrey, do you want to say hello? Well, if not, Kenneth White.
Hi, looking forward to saying hello to everybody.
Okay, great.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Arnold Yellen.
Good to be here, everyone. Welcome to everybody, and find this very interesting today.
Thank you.
And good to
Thank
see
you,
you
David.
all.
It's gonna get more interesting.
And Rich Sabrine.
Hi, everyone. Nice to see you.
Okay, and I don't see David Wise, but David, if you're there, please say hello. Okay, so that'll be it for me.
Joe or Carl, it's Ray Burnbaum. I've got a guest. I haven't seen him on the screen, Dan Katz, who I believe is also a former member. Dan, if you're on, come aboard.
What's his name?
Daniel Katz,
I saw him.
He's on. He's on.
wherever he is.
Dan, unmute yourself. Up in the right corner. Carl,
Yes,
I also saw a couple of other gentlemen I didn't recognize, Craig Johnson and Rich Agustin.
Hi, this is Carl Shapiro. I want to introduce Rich Agustin, who I invited to today's meeting.
Great.
Yeah. Thank you, Carl, for inviting me. As a lifelong Met fan, I look forward to today's presentation and learning more about the club.
Yeah, this is Steve. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start a little poll here, and if people could just answer, "Are you a guest?" That should pop up your screen, and just click yes or no whenever you're ready, and that'll give us an idea.
Hey, this is Ed. I invited my two new next door neighbors to the meeting. I don't see them on the list. One guy is Sharman and the other guy is Vinny. And like I said, I don't see them, but they have been invited. So we'll
Sherman is
see
on.
what happens.
Sherman who?
Say again, Howie?
You said Sherman who?
Sharman, Sharmin.
I don't know.
I'll
See the
get you
yellow.
I'll get you their last names. Like I said, they're new neighbors.
Well,
Nice to see Craig. Nice to see. Who was it that I saw in here? Craig Johnson on. Craig's a previous member. He used to be a part of our singing group, and I'm not sure where you're living now, Craig, but say hello.
Sorry, it took me a while to figure out how to unmute. I'm living in Danbury now.
Ah, Danbury.
And
Good.
just the singing group.
Yeah, we miss you.
Thank you.
Okay, I'd like to move on since we do have a lot to cover, and our fellowship director, Dave Kaplan.
Okay, well, thank you, Joe. Well, everybody, Dave Kaplan, and during this segment, we like to share news. We like to know what's going on with our fellow members, both good news and if people are having some problems, we like to know that too. So good news for me, as a matter of fact, I just walked in the door. We took Elisa down. She got her first COVID vaccination this morning and got back in time before the snow really got bad. But I will say, for everybody, would not get back out on the roads right now. The roads are getting very slick. So in terms of fellowship news, we like to stay in touch with members who, for one reason or another, are having trouble either getting out, trouble logging into our virtual meetings. And so here we list some of our folks who really do appreciate getting calls from their fellow members. A new item here, Dick Fisher informed me that Al and Charlotte Goldblatt have moved to an assisted living facility in South Jersey to be near their daughter. I've sent a best wishes and good luck card to Al and Charlotte on their new home, and we'll stay in touch with them. And hopefully they will still join us in the future. And as always, please let me know if you are aware of other members who would like to be in contact. And similarly, members who are in care units who can't get out. So let me open it up. Has anybody got some good news to share?
It's Ira Bernstein. Not good news, bad news. One of our members, Marv Weinstein, passed away on Saturday. His obituary was in yesterday's Advocate.
Okay, well, thank you for sharing that. That's really sad news. But
Marv,
okay, anything else?
Hello, this is Morris Glucksman.
Yep.
And just have some, I'm in Chicago right now where it hasn't stopped snowing for days. And but my good news is I'm here because my daughter had a baby. I have a new granddaughter.
Fantastic. That's
Congratulations.
wonderful. So what's the name?
Her name is getting close to try to remember already.
Well, you'll have plenty of time to remember as she gets older.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
No, that's terrific, Mo.
That's good. Thank you.
Yeah.
I have something, Dave.
Go ahead.
My granddaughter Brittany is finishing up her second year to become a doctor, and she'll be coming home in 2 weeks to do some internship right in Norwalk or Danbury, which is going to be really nice. We'll get to see her. We're really proud of her.
No, that's really super. And I know you've kept us informed on her progress, and she really is someone to be proud of. Anybody else? Okay, well, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Dave. Just before we go into Dick Harper, one of the nice things about Zoom meetings are no matter where you are, if you want to be a member and stay in touch with your friends, you can always do it through Zoom. And one of the thoughts maybe is that once we even get back to normal, we might be able to still have a Zoom or online virtual presence so that, again, no matter where you are, you can jump in and catch a meeting on Thursday mornings. Dick Harper, we have a book club. Dick, you want to go through that?
Okay, thank you. I'm looking out the window at a little bit of a snow, and then we read about Texas having gone through disaster, and that's nothing compared to the Kingdom of Ice. At least you can go to the Kingdom of Ice and just read about it and be happy that you're not there yourselves, but it's a fascinating tale that goes over a number of years. They were trying to go to the North Pole through a new route. Well, it didn't quite work, but it's a fascinating tale. And Hampton Sides, who wrote this book, is a very good writer. And then we've got online for the April 7th, American Axis, which is a couple of American icons, Henry Ford and Charles Lindbergh, which will shed a little light on them that you might not be happy to read about, but it's a fascinating book by Max Wallace, April 7th. So that's it. Thanks.
Thank you, Dick. Okay, just reviewing the poll, we have 11 guests that have indicated that they are not, our guests today. So that's great. And Steve, did we have the poll that we were going to have?
Yeah, well, let me try it. Okay, I'm going to launch it in a minute.
Okay, what we've started to do is have a little question period and see at the, after the part of the business meeting, we'll show the tallies. But if you click on the poll or it's up on the screen, during the next 5-10 minutes, you don't have to do it now. You can time to fill it out, and we'll see what it is, what everybody thinks the answers are, and we'll give the real answers. Okay. continuing on, throughout the year, as we indicated, we participate in a wide variety of activities, including golf, tennis, fishing, museum trips, field trips to points of interest, social activities, and of course, our guest speakers. Generally, there's always something for everyone. We try to have a varied program throughout the year and some really interesting activities. We start the year off for social events with a St. Patrick's Day luncheon, and it's been at Giovanni's, and we usually get a great, turnout. We end up always well over 100 to 140 husbands, men and significant others. We have a songster group that we'll go into, and down at the bottom you'll see singing period songs and give us a little entertainment before the dinner. Next slide. And then we have throughout the year a number of trips, some of them close by, some of them a little distance where we have a bus, and the Goodspeed Opera House is one that we go by bus and have lunch, see the show, and then return home. Then we have our golf tournaments, as mentioned before, and the only requirement to play in the golf tournament is that you're able to get in and out of the golf cart. Golf is incidental. We just have a lot of fun, and if you're a real golfer, just figure you're going to have a fun day. And if you're not a golfer, you're going to still have a fun day. So it's a great outing, and it's just a great social event. Then we have a spring luncheon towards the end of our meeting season. We normally meet from September, the first Thursday after Labor Day, and we go to the last Thursday in June, and then we break for the summer. Although with COVID last year, we did have informal group get-togethers via Zoom throughout the summer, and that worked out real nice because we were at the height of the pandemic, and we were able to get together and see each other and commiserate the situation. And there's some photos from the spring luncheon. And we have a tennis tournament. It's the Senior Men's Association of the US Open. And you can see we got some great number of guys playing out. And usually we get about 24, and they set up a tournament setup. So it's another fun day for the members. Then we have a day of service, and over the last number of years, we've been the official cleanup crew for Scalzi Cubetta Stadium, and we've cleaned leaves, cleaned out the dugouts. We've done painting of the grandstands. And we've gotten some great recognition. If you remember a couple of years ago, we got in the paper a number of times. We were in the Advocate. One, they did a story on us doing the cleanup, and then they had a tournament where we got mentioned and for the great work that we did getting the stadium ready for the tournament. It was World Series, Babe Ruth World Series. So it's our way of giving back to the Stamford. We get the picnic Usually they accommodate us with the pavilion at the Cove Island for the picnic, as well as the mayor coming a couple of times. We have a sail in the Sound. One of our members, Paul Alberg, has a beautiful boat, and the members go out and enjoy a day, an afternoon of sailing and camaraderie. And then we also have a fishing trip once a year. That is on a professional fishing boat. All the services are provided, and for all you fishermen, that is really another nice day out on the Sound, and great company. Then we have our fall picnic, and usually we're in the 100+ guests at the picnic. We have a catered lunch, regular picnic lunch, hamburgers, hot dogs, non-meat burgers, veggie burgers. Usually we get, depending upon the year, some politicos come out and just socialize. We have our mayor, whoever the current mayor is, will come and give us a state of the city address and open to questions.
Hello. There was just a phone call. I don't know who it was, just before you walked in.
Thanks, Sarah.
Okay. Then we have, again, our fall golf outing, and we're,
Not yet.
Ira, unmute yourself. Again, the same requirements go for the fall golf outing as the spring outing. As long as you want to get out there and enjoy yourself and have a day out in the course and enjoy, the friendship that we have. We always mix the foursomes up. There's no set foursomes. It's the luck of the draw, and you're always playing with generally with another members that you haven't played with before. Then at the end of the year, we have our holiday luncheon, and that luncheon has been held at the Woodway Golf Course Country Club, and it's a wonderful lunch. Usually, the luncheons, all the luncheons we have the songsters start off with a medley of tunes, and then we have the lunch, and we cap it off with a trivia quiz, and the winning table ends up with each person at the winning table will end up with a bottle of wine. And speaking from experience, the wine is pretty good. I've had a few bottles. In fact, I got banned from going into the 5 of us that were together got banned from entering the contest. They had to split us up. Now, field trips, thanks to Alan Krim, one of our members, who pulls these trips out, and some great trips, either locally or some little distance, either by bus or carpooling, or if they're close enough. And their trips, various trips of interest, cultural. This is the Bridgeport power plant, NBC Studios here in was it the Merchant Marine Academy, guided tour of the Merchant Marine Academy, viewing some activities, gone to the Culinary Institute up at Hyde Park, and got a tour of the facilities and the luncheon. And that, if anybody's been there, that's really a great, I mean, place to go. An art foundation in Greenwich. And in fact, there was one when the bridge was, Tappan Zee Bridge was being built, we were able to get a tour of the events leading to the opening of the new Mario Cuomo Bridge now. Our previous speakers range in subject matter. We had Mort Walker shortly before he passed away. And Mort gave his story, and as he was talking, he was doing, you know, his famous Beetle Bailey and Sarge sketches. And we were able to raffle those off, have them framed and raffled. Jim Cameron, who is contributed to the newspaper, was on the Transportation Council, giving his insights on current transportation in Connecticut, as well as railroading in general, high-speed rail. Mayor Martin, not only does he speak at our picnic, but he does come, or any of the Stamford mayors have come to the our installation of offices, the first meeting in January, and install the officers, as well as give another little state of the city address, again with questions and answers. We've had the fire marshal of Stamford talk about how to keep your house safe and stay safe. And I mean, it's just, we've had doctors, our biggest recent was Dr. Parry, who spoke to us a couple of months ago with the upcoming, he spoke about the upcoming vaccines and the state of the situation with the COVID, and he's coming back in June to give us an update. And if you saw, you know, we're on when we had the previous slides of the upcoming speakers. One thing you find that you learn something at every meeting, every speaker, you're guaranteed to walk away learning something that you didn't know before. Okay. So there's the answers. So if you see the results, Steve, you want to explain?
Yeah. Can everybody see the results of the?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, we had 57% of everybody who made a choice. Guess correct at 83 was the average age of SMAS members. Some thought we were a little older at 72, some a little younger. And then the second question is what percentage of the membership was born in Stamford? It's really 7%, and only 32% of our members that voted or made a selection got it right. 36% thought that 9% of our people were born here, but
I guess it's 7% that were born here. That leaves 93%, probably
that are foreigners.
90% are Bronx and Brooklyn.
That I didn't ask. All I know is from moving up here 16 years ago is that unless you were born here, you're always considered a foreigner.
That's true. Okay, so we try to have these little quizzes and polling. One of the first polls we had was who, were we going to take the vaccine or get the vaccine or not get the vaccine? And almost unanimously, over 90% of the members said that they were either had gotten the first vaccine or were going to get the vaccine. And no one said no. And a couple of people just said they didn't know how to contact to get the vaccine, and that was early on. So it seemed that most of our members are looking forward to getting the vaccine to stay as safe as we can. So, and we're going to try and have these polls as a regular feature at our meetings. Okay. Next slide.
That's it, I guess.
Okay. Stu, before I turn it over to you, has Bobby joined us yet?
Not yet.
Okay. Well, we got through a lot, and until Bobby comes on,
He's going to be calling in from home. I just spoke to his administrator.
okay.
So.
All right, if anybody have any questions, I'd like to hear if any other guests have any questions that we can answer. Please feel free to unmute yourself and ask a question. Or any of our members.
I have a question.
Go ahead, Bill.
I'm just curious. I haven't gotten my second shot yet, and I've been hearing a pretty big range of reactions to it. Just curious, what is the reaction that people have been getting to their second shot? I've heard very little to kind of really not too great.
Yeah, this is Arkady Feldman. I already had 2 shots, and my second shot was less painful than the first shot and no consequences whatsoever. So you should you should not worry about second shot.
Bill?
Howie?
We got our second shot last week, and all we had was a sore arm for a couple of days. My wife was feeling it for a couple of days longer. But I'll tell you, we walked out with the biggest damn smile in the world because we got it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Joe Bobby has joined us.
Okay, we'll just take the last 2 hands up there. Lloyd?
Yes, we got our second shot last Friday afternoon, and the only problem we had, basically both of us, my wife and I, is where they injected the needle. It was sore for a couple of days. Other than that, there was no reaction.
Thank you, Lloyd. Alan? Jaffe?
Yeah, my wife and I got our second